Hi, folks. This is Don Schaefer. I'm excited to be with you. We've been working on a series called Becoming a Believer. I believe that we get to a place where we can believe that Jesus Christ was real and the Bible is real, but to truly believe in everything about Jesus Christ and what He is meant for us to do requires action on our part, and it takes a different level of belief. That's where we've been going through a series of topics trying to help us to develop that type of belief that allows God to move in our life and move in our world. And today, I've got a message here that's called Becoming Valuable in God's Kingdom. Becoming valuable in God's kingdom. And I think this is important because I do believe that we become a part of the kingdom as soon as we open up our lives to Jesus Christ. But someday we're going to be in a place called eternity, in His eternal presence. And I believe that we can create value in our life right now. And we need to be valuable in God's kingdom. Not a valuable to impress people, not valuable to build a name, not valuable in the eyes of God, but valuable in the eyes of God. And here's the beautiful truth. You don't have to be famous. You don't have to be wealthy. You don't have to be the most talented person in the room. You simply have to be willing. So we have to open up our hearts and we have to begin with scriptures. And that's where the opening scripture I have is in Matthew 25 and verse 21. It says, His Lord said unto him, Well done, thou good and faithful servant. Thou hast been faithful over a few things. I will make thee ruler over many things. Enter into the joy of the Lord. Notice what Jesus praises here. Not position, not popularity, not applause, but faithfulness, responsibility, and initiative. God values those who take what they've been given and multiplying it, developing it. And that's where Tracy says, your value doesn't come from what you get, but from what you give. Whatever we give of our life is what makes us valuable, not so much what we get. Everybody wants to get, but and say, hey, I'm valuable because I got. No, it's what you give. It's the direct opposite in as far as developing value in God's kingdom. So today we're going to take a look at 7 ways you can become truly valuable in God's kingdom. And my first point here is taking initiative. Solve problems instead of pointing them out. Taking initiative, solving problems instead of pointing them out. In Proverbs 14 and verse 23, it says, In all labor there is profit, but the talk of the lips tendeth only to poverty. A lot of people don't put any effort in. It's all talk. And they want to become valuable. No, it takes an effort. Anyone can identify with this problem. It takes a few take responsibility to solve it. In every church, in every workplace, in every family, there are 2 kinds of people. Those who say someone should fix this, and those who say, Lord, how can I help? You're always looking for people who wanting to help. I know I was in ministry within churches. Man, it's a whole lot easier working with people that are looking to help rather than having to ask them. And so many times people come in and they'll criticize and say, someone should fix this. We need to be in a position where, what can I do to make this right? The most valuable people in God's kingdom don't wait for permission to do good. They see a need and they move. The Good Samaritan story, 2 religious men saw a problem. They passed by, but one man stopped. He didn't organize a committee. He didn't just start a discussion group. He didn't solve the problem, but he solved the problem in front of him. He took care of this man. He got him fixed up, found him a place to stay. That is kingdom value. That is kingdom value. When you begin asking, what can I do to fix this? You step into leadership even without a title, because this is what leaders do. Good leaders do. And God is trying to make us valuable in His kingdom. Point number 2, people need to commit to a lifelong of growing. People need to commit to a lifelong of growing. In Proverbs 1 and verse 5, it says, a wise man will hear and will increase learning. Okay, the world is changing. Technology is advancing. Culture is shifting every day. But one thing never changes. God values those who keep growing. The moment you stop learning, you start to decline. Some believers think spiritual maturity is automatic with age. It's not. I see some of the most immature people that have been part of Christianity for a long time. And sometimes I see younger people that are fresh, that are continuing to grow leaps and bounds. Growth is intentional. We decide that we want to grow in the things of God, and we do whatever is needed to give growth inside of our life, because life is all about that. It's about growing. You don't need a seminary degree, but you do need a teachable spirit, a hunger for truth, and a willingness to be corrected. The illustration of expertise is dangerous. The illusion of expertise is dangerous, because you feel like you've arrived someplace. You got a diploma or whatever it might be, and that you're an expert at something. No, you continue to grow. It doesn't matter what you achieved, how far you've came. You've got time to grow. And most valuable people in God's kingdom are humble learners. They read, they study, they ask questions, they seek wisdom. And because they grow, they stay relevant. I love people that are growing, because it seems like their issues really aren't there. They're continuing to grow and are mature in what they do, and they find ways to resolve situations they're in because they're continuing to grow. People who have stopped growing, they start to smell up the place. They become stagnant, and it's not a good, their attitudes, everything. Because when you are growing and looking for ways to grow every day, it gives you a reason for waking up every day. It's momentum that moves in your life. It gives you a flavor about you and a way about you that everybody can see happening in your life. But once you've stopped, it changes everything. Point number 3, learning to develop emotional and spiritual intelligence. Learning to develop emotional and spiritual intelligence. Okay, in James 1 and verse 19 says, "Wherefore, my beloved brethren, let every man be swift to hear, slow to speak, and slow to wrath." Okay, we develop ourselves emotionally. Technical skills can be taught, but the ability to understand people, to sense what someone is feeling, to respond with wisdom, that is rare and that is powerful. Jesus was the master of emotional intelligence. He sensed things. He knew when to rebuke, to restore, to be silent, or to speak boldly. Self-awareness. Valuable kingdom people, they understand their own emotions. They don't react impulsively. They don't let ego control them. It's hard to be around people like that. They're not even aware. That's where in God's kingdom we need to develop a self-awareness. Valuable in the kingdom people, because I know who I am. I know how to control my emotions. When someone corrects them, they speak, they ask, is this, is there any truth in this? Am I correctable? When somebody says, "Hey, Don, you're all washed up," am I correctable? Am I say, maybe there's some truth in what they're saying? See, that humility makes them trustworthy. People follow those who make them feel heard and understood. If you want to be valuable in God's kingdom, learn people, learn and understand people and how to handle your emotions and dealing with them. Point number 4, it all changes when you take ownership. It all changes when you take ownership. In Colossians 3 and verse 23, it says, "And whatsoever you do, do it heartily as to the Lord and not unto men." Okay, we have to take an ownership. There's a difference between doing your job and owning your responsibility. One says, "That's not my job." The other says, "How can I help? How can I help?" I know I worked with people for a long time in the manufacturing world. I can't tell you how refreshing it is going up to people and saying, "How can I help?" And how degrading and upsetting it is having people say, "Well, that's not my job. That's not my job." Myself, I remember to this day people who can, "I can help. How can I help?" But I also remember those who say, "Not my job." Okay, ownership is rare. Ownership says, "I won't blame. I won't make excuses. I will find a way forward." Imagine 2 church volunteers, both are assigned the same task. One does the bare minimum. The other improves the system, prevents future problems, and supports others. Who becomes indispensable? The one who treats God's work like it matters deeply. When you work as unto the Lord, you rise up. And we need to learn that. We need to take responsibility for the things that we are doing and work it unto the Lord and do the best we possibly can, because God rewards that. And there's rewards waiting for people who develop this, because we are wanting to become valuable in God's kingdom. Point 5, learning to become reliable and consistent. In Luke 16 and verse 10, it says, he that is faithful in what is least is faithful also in much. In a world of broken promises, consistency is priceless. People follow those who show up, follow through, and keep their word. By being valuable isn't about being flashy. It's about being dependable. If you say you'll pray, pray. If you say you'll serve, serve. If you commit, complete it. Faithfulness is influence. God promotes reliability. There are so many people that I am shocked if they do what they say they're going to do, because they never do what they say they're going to do. But yet there are a number of people who always do. If they say they're going to be there, they're going to do this, they will do it. And if they didn't do it, I'd be shocked, because that's just who they are. They become very valuable, not in my life, not only in my life, but in God's life, in the kingdom. So everything we do is unto the Lord and is valuable, and trying to be committed into doing what we're wanting and need to do. Point number 6, getting in the position to lift others as you climb. Getting into position to lift others as you climb. In Philippians chapter 2 and verse 4, it says, look not every man on his own things, but every man also on the things of others. Success in God's kingdom is never solo. It's never just about you. The most valuable leaders share knowledge, mentor others, create opportunities, and celebrate other people's wins. If your growth only benefits you, it's incomplete. But when you bring others up with you, you multiply impact. That's where we think about Barnabas in the New Testament. He encouraged Paul. He believed in Mark. He strengthened others. And because he strengthened others, his influence grew. Valuable kingdom people make others better. And we need to realize that our job in this life is to encourage those that are around. When Jesus talks about the church, the body, it's a bunch of people that are working together. My body works together to make me complete and so I can function. We need to be doing that in other people's lives too. So as we climb the ladders of life, we're lifting others up that ladder as well, so that we can all reach some place where we will be with the Lord forever. And by doing that, we develop great value in our life. And these are the individuals that even in natural life, they are valuable. There are some people in job positions and in life that I say these people are gold. These people are gold for the business, for the family, for whatever they're doing, because they're constantly lifting other people. Point number 7, keep yourself adaptable and courageous. Keeping yourself adaptable and courageous. Keeping yourself adaptable and courageous. In Isaiah 43 and 19, it says, behold, I will do a new thing. God is always moving. If you resist change, you resist growth. Some people freeze when challenges come, but kingdom problem solvers lean in. They see obstacles as invitations. They don't panic, they pray. They adjust, they act. Failure doesn't define them, it refines them. The question that changes everything is this: Lord, what can I do right now? You're creating things new all the time. It's not someday. It's not when I feel ready, but it's right now. What can I do right now in my life? That question turns ordinary believers into powerful vessels. This is what believers, becoming a believer, this is the makeup of that individual. Powerful vessels, because we're true believers. That's where we bring it all together. Becoming valuable in God's kingdom is not about being the smartest, being the loudest, being the most talented. It's about solving problems, growing continually, understanding people, taking ownership, being reliable, lifting others, and staying adaptable, ready for change no matter whatever comes our way. Anyone can identify a problem, But those who solve them, those who act, and those who take ownership become indispensable in the kingdom of God. And here's the beautiful part. This is available to everyone watching. You don't need a new title. You don't need a new decision. You need to touch and realize what you are and how you need to become valuable. That's where we thank our good God for calling us into his kingdom. That we don't have to compete for value. It's already been given to us. We have to develop it inside of us. And we ask, Lord, that you would help make us useful and help us to see problems as opportunities, and that we grow continually, that we love people deeply and take ownership faithfully and be reliable servants of you, Lord, lifting up other people in life, those that need a lifting. We're there, and we stay courageous when challenges come our way. And we're being shaped into the people who will hear one day, one, well done, thou good and faithful servant. Well done, thy good and faithful servant. This is the beautiful part of what God is wanting for each one of us. And as we become valuable, someday each and every one of us is going to be judged by the things we've done, by the value we placed in our life. And that's where, if this message encouraged you, I want you to do three things. I want you to like this video, share it with someone who needs to hear it, and subscribe so we can continue to grow together. And remember, you are already loved by God, but you can choose to become incredibly valuable in his kingdom. And when you do, doors open up, influences increase, impact multiplies. And until next time, stay faithful, stay growing, and keep becoming who God designed you to be. God bless you, and I will see you next time.